The station called Kepler Prime floated in the darkness between stars. It was massive, larger than Earth's moon, built by aliens thousands of years before humans learned to make fire. Today, it would host the most important meeting in human history. Ambassador Day One Park stood at the window of the human transport ship, watching the station grow larger. He was 53 years old, gray hair cut short, wearing Earth's diplomatic uniform of dark blue. Behind him, 3 other humans prepared for what came next. "First time seeing something this big?" asked Tae-Yang Kim. He was the military advisor, younger than Day One by 10 years, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. He wore his uniform with various medals from Earth's Unity Wars. "Second time," Day One replied. "First time was the Centauri Gate. This is bigger." Hannah Cho looked up from her tablet. She was the chief scientist, barely 30 years old, but her brain worked faster than most computers. "It is 67 times the mass of our largest space station. They built it 4,000 years ago. That should tell us something about them." The 4th member of their team, Jiho Lee, said nothing. He was the attach, the one who would handle the small details, the paperwork, the translations. He was good at staying quiet and noticing things others missed. Their ship docked with a gentle thud. The airlock opened and they entered the station. The corridor beyond was enormous. The ceiling stretched up 50 feet, maybe more. The walls glowed with soft light that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Aliens moved through the space, hundreds of different species. Some walked on 2 legs like humans. Others floated. Some crawled on the ceiling. A few were so strange that Day One could not tell which end was the head. A creature approached them. It looked like a giant insect 8 feet tall, with 4 arms and skin that shimmered like oil on water. Its eyes were compound, reflecting light in strange patterns. "Welcome, humans," it said. The words came from a device on its chest, translating its clicks and buzzes into English. "I am Chancellor Kethara of the Vryn Collective. We are pleased you have come." Day One bowed slightly. "Thank you for the invitation, Chancellor. Come, the council waits." They followed Kethara through the station. Everywhere they looked, alien life existed in forms Earth had only imagined. They passed market areas where goods from 1,000 worlds were traded. They saw living quarters built for species that breathed methane instead of oxygen. They watched children of some species play games that made no sense to human eyes. "Impressive," Tae-Yang muttered. "And intimidating." "That is the point," Hannah whispered back. "They want us to feel small." The council chamber was even larger than the corridors. It was a sphere with the entrance at the top. Gravity generators let them walk down the curved wall to the floor far below. Seats rose in tiers on all sides, thousands of them, each designed for different body types. Most were filled. At the center of the floor stood a platform. That was where the humans would stand. As they descended, Day One saw the 12 high council members in their special seats. Kethara was one. Near her sat a being made entirely of crystal that glowed from within. It spoke without sound, and the translator called it High Speaker Truth Beam of the Luminar Communion. There was a reptilian creature, massive and scarred, with teeth like daggers. The translator said its name was Imperator Vekthar of the Soran Empire. Others sat in the high seats, each representing a species that had been in space for thousands of years. Earth had been in space for 300 years. In this room, humans were infants. The 4 humans reached the center platform. The lights focused on them. 10,000 aliens watched. Kethara spoke, and her words echoed through the chamber. "We gather to welcome humanity to the Galactic Council. It has been 3 cycles since first contact. We have watched. We have studied. We have decided. Humanity shall be granted membership as a protectorate species." Day One felt his stomach tighten. Protectorate was not the word they had hoped for. Truthbeam's voice came next, somehow speaking directly into their minds. "You will gain access to galactic trade routes. You will receive protection from aggressive species. You will learn from those who came before." Vekthar's voice was a growl. "In return, you will accept guidance. You will limit military expansion. You will contribute resources based on assigned quotas. You will submit technology for approval before development. Other council members added more terms. Humans could settle 20 systems, no more. Human ships could not exceed certain speeds. Human weapons could not exceed certain power levels. Human research would be monitored. Human industry would be regulated. Jiho leaned close to Day One and whispered, "They are describing a cage." Day One nodded slightly. He kept his face neutral, showing nothing. When the terms ended, Cathara clicked happily. This is a generous offer. Most species wait centuries for such membership. Do you accept? Day One stepped forward. The delegation requests time to consult with Earth's government. This is an important decision. Silence filled the chamber. Then came sounds that the translator struggled with. Laughter, maybe? Or confusion. Consult? Vekthar leaned forward. What is there to discuss? You should be grateful. We are grateful for the offer, Day One said carefully. But we must discuss it with our people. Surely the Council understands that major decisions require proper consideration. Truthbeam's glow flickered. No species has ever requested time before. They accept immediately. It is the logical choice. Perhaps, Day One said. But humans value the opinions of their citizens. We need 48 hours. More silence. Then Cathara clicked. Very well. 48 hours. We will prepare the signing ceremony. The humans were dismissed. They walked back through the station in silence until they reached their assigned quarters. The moment the door closed, Taeyang exploded. A protectorate? They want to turn us into a colony. Hannah pulled out her tablet. Look at this. I recorded the entire agreement. Section 14. Subsection C. All human technological development must be approved by the Council Technology Board before implementation. Do you know what that means? They control our progress, Joho said quietly. Exactly. Section 23 limits our FTL research. We cannot develop faster engines. Section 37 forbids genetic modification. Section 41 restricts artificial intelligence beyond current levels. Hannah's hands shook. They are locking us at our current state? Forever. Day One sat down heavily. They fear us. What? Taeyang turned to him. They fear what we might become, Day One said. Think about it. They have been in space for thousands of years. We have been in space for 300. But in those 300 years, we went from chemical rockets to fusion drives, from radio to quantum communication, from Earth to 50 colonies. We did in centuries what took them millennia. So they want to slow us down, Hannah said. They want to stop us, Day One corrected, before we become a threat. Jiho looked at the door. What do we do? Day One opened his communication link to Earth. We tell our people the truth, and we let them decide our future. The signal traveled across light years, carrying the weight of humanity's next choice. In the council chamber, aliens celebrated what they thought was humanity's inevitable surrender. They did not know they had made a critical mistake. They had given humans time to think, and humans were very good at thinking. The video conference room in the human quarters flickered to life. On the screen, President Barahan appeared, sitting in the emergency session chamber in Geneva. Around her sat the leaders of Earth's unified government. Defense Minister Young-Sik Choi, Economic Advisor Mina Yoon, Speaker of the Assembly, Head of the Science Council, representatives from every continent. It was 3 a.m. in Geneva, but everyone was awake. Show us the agreement, Bohra said. She was 60 years old, a survivor of the Unity Wars and known for making hard choices. Hannah shared her screen. The document appeared, hundreds of pages of galactic law. She scrolled through, highlighting sections. Here and here. These are the critical parts. For 20 minutes, the Earth leaders read in silence. Day One watched their faces change. Confusion became understanding. Understanding became anger. Young-Sik spoke first. They want our resources. Look at Section 52. Earth must provide mining quotas of rare elements. Mars must supply water ice. The belt must give up platinum and iridium. All at prices they set. Section 68, Mina added, her voice tight. Limits on human trade with non-council species. We can only sell to their markets at their prices. It is economic slavery dressed up as partnership. Bo leaned back. What happens if we refuse? The agreement does not say, Jeho answered. But I spoke with a few minor species at the station. They whispered warnings. Species that refuse membership get isolated. Their trade routes get blocked. Their colonies get harassed. Some disappear entirely. Threats, young Sikh said flatly. Unspoken threats, Day One corrected. The council does not need to say them out loud. Everyone knows. Bohra closed her eyes. Accepting means we become permanent children. Refusing means we stand alone against the galaxy. Not quite alone, a new voice said. The screen split, and a military officer appeared. Commander Hyun-Woo Kang, head of intelligence. I have information you need to see. He shared files, charts, analysis, comparisons. We have been studying council technology since first contact, Hyun-Woo explained. We expected them to be far ahead of us. In some areas they are, but not all areas. In fact, in several areas we are ahead. Silence on both ends of the call. Explain, Bohra said. Hyun-Woo pulled up a comparison chart. Take fusion drives. The Vring use fusion for their slower ships. Their drives produce 0.35 efficiency. Our latest drives produce 0.47 efficiency. We get more thrust from less fuel. That cannot be right, someone said. It is right. We checked 3 times. Look at another example. FTL communication. They use quantum-linked relays that need maintenance every 10 years. Our system uses self-correcting networks that need maintenance every 50 years. Our internet, which they call primitive, is actually more robust than their central network system. More charts appeared. Computer processing, materials science, medical technology. In each, humans were not as far behind as anyone thought. In some areas, humans were ahead. How is this possible? Mena asked. They have been in space for thousands of years. Hannah spoke up. Because they stopped competing. The Council maintains peace by controlling advancement. Every species must submit new technology for approval. That means committees, debates, politics. By the time something gets approved, it is already outdated. They achieve stability by sacrificing progress. Meanwhile, Taeyang added, humans have been in competition mode for 300 years. Nation against nation, corporation against corporation, colony against colony. Everyone trying to build better, faster, cheaper. We advance through chaos. Young Sikh leaned forward. What are you saying? I am saying, Day One replied carefully, that we do not need them as much as they want us to think. The Aura looked at the charts again. If we refuse, can we defend ourselves? Young Sikh considered. The Council has millions of ships. We have thousands. But their ships are old designs approved decades ago. Our ships are new, designed last year. In a straight fight, we lose on numbers. But we would not lose easily. And the Council has not fought a real war in centuries. We fought our unity wars 50 years ago. Our people remember how to fight. What about expansion? Biora asked. We have 50 colonies. We need more. We need resources, living space, opportunities for our people. Mina pulled up a star map. There are 3,000 unclaimed systems within 50 light years of Earth. The Council considers them reserved, but has not settled them. If we move fast, we can claim 50 systems per decade. In 1 century, we would have 500 systems. That is a real empire. The Council would not allow it, someone objected. What could they do? Young Sikh countered. Send fleets to remove us? That means war, and war is expensive. Blockade us? We are not on their trade routes yet. We would be isolating ourselves anyway. Destroy us? Then they look like tyrants to every other species. The Council's power comes from the illusion of benevolence. Violence would shatter that illusion. Though Ora was quiet for a long time. Everyone waited. Finally, she spoke. Mina, give me economic projections. 2 scenarios. One where we accept membership. One where we refuse. Mina worked quickly. Numbers filled the screen. If we accept, Earth's economy grows at 1.3% per year, limited by quotas and regulations. In 100 years, we are modestly more wealthy, but still dependent on council markets. And if we refuse? Dangerous for the first decade. We would face isolation, possible harassment. But if we survive, growth rate is 4.7% per year, driven by unrestricted expansion and development. In 100 years, we are an economic power rivaling any council member. In 200 years, we surpass most of them. That is if we survive the first decade, Bo-Ra said. Yes, Mina agreed. It is a risk. Young Sikh spoke again. Everything worth having is a risk. We risked extinction to unify Earth, we risked death to settle Mars, we risked everything to reach the stars. Humanity does not become great by playing it safe. On the screen, Day One saw his daughter in the background of the Geneva chamber. Sujin Park, civilian analyst, 30 years old. She was not supposed to speak in these meetings, but she caught his eye. She held up her tablet. Words were written there in large letters, "Do not sell our future." Day One smiled slightly. Bara saw the exchange. Your daughter has an opinion, Ambassador? She does, Madam President. She says we should not sell our future for table scraps. Bara almost smiled. Young people often see clearly. They have more future to lose. She looked around at the assembled leaders. We need a vote. But first, let me be clear about what we are deciding. If we refuse the council, we enter dangerous waters. We might face economic pressure, military pressure. We might fail. But if we accept, we surrender our potential. We lock ourselves into permanent inferiority. So choose. Comfortable slavery or dangerous freedom? The vote took 5 minutes. It was not unanimous. Some voted for acceptance, arguing that safety mattered more than pride. But most voted for refusal. Humanity would stand alone. Bora looked at Day One. Ambassador, you have your instructions. Refuse politely. Make it clear we seek friendship, not membership. And make it clear we will defend our sovereignty with everything we have. Yes, Madam President. One more thing, Young Sikh added. When you refuse, they will be shocked. They may threaten. Do not back down. The moment we show weakness, we lose all advantage. Taeyang grinned. We will not show weakness. I promise you that. The call ended. The 4 humans sat in their quarters looking at each other. Well, Jiho said quietly, we are about to make history. Or end it, Hannah replied. Day One stood. Get some rest. In 30 hours we return to that chamber, and we tell the most powerful beings in the galaxy that humanity chooses its own path. Outside their window, Kepler Prime glowed with the light of 10,000 civilizations. Soon, those civilizations would learn something new about humans. They would learn that humans did not bow easily. They would learn that humans valued freedom over comfort. They would learn that refusing to kneel was not stupidity, it was courage. And courage, humans had in abundance. 6 months after the walkout, the galaxy talked about nothing else on Earth. Jiwoo Beek stood in his laboratory, looking at the prototype engine that should not exist. Around him, dozens of scientists worked at terminals, ran simulations, checked readings. The room hummed with energy and excitement. Run the test again, Jiwoo said. A technician activated the engine. It spun up faster and faster until space itself bent around it. Numbers appeared on screens. Efficiency rating, 0.68. That was nearly double the Council's best engines. It works, someone whispered. It works. Someone else shouted. The room erupted in celebration. Jiwoo allowed himself a smile. This engine would change everything. Without council restrictions, humanity had leaped forward in 6 months more than they had in 6 years. Far from Earth. On the colony world of New Horizon, Kyungmi Shin watched the construction of humanity's first independent shipyard. Massive, bigger than anything Earth had built before. It floated in orbit, robots and workers swarming over its skeleton like ants on a corpse. How long until it is operational? She asked her foreman. 8 weeks. Maybe 7 if we push hard. Push hard. We need ships. Lots of ships. The foreman nodded. Everyone knew why. The galaxy was watching humanity. Some with admiration, some with envy, and some with hunger. In the depths of space, Captain Seo Jin Han commanded the UES Indomitable, humanity's newest warship. It had been designed in secret, built in the Martian yards, and launched just 3 weeks ago. Now it patrolled the outer edges of human space, looking for trouble, and it found some. Contact, the sensor officer reported. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL. Distance, 1 million kilometers. Configuration matches Vrin patrol vessels. Seo Jun leaned forward. How many? 6. No, wait, 10. They are forming a blockade pattern around the jump point. The jump point led to a system humanity claimed 2 months ago. New Sol, they called it. A perfect world with oceans and breathable air. 100,000 humans live there already. Open a channel, Seojin ordered. The main screen flickered. A Vrin commander appeared, compound eyes reflecting the light. Human vessel. This system is under council authority. You are ordered to withdraw. This system is under human sovereignty, Seojin replied calmly. You are ordered to withdraw. The Vrin clicked in what might have been laughter. You have 1 ship. We have 10. You cannot enforce your claim. Seojin smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Would you like to test that? For a moment, nothing happened. Then space around the Indomitable shimmered. 7 more human ships appeared, dropping out of stealth mode. They had been there all along, invisible, waiting. You were saying? Seojin asked. The Vrin commander's translator went silent. The 10 alien ships sat motionless, calculating. 8 human ships against 10 Vrin vessels. Not impossible odds, but not certain either. And human ships had proven surprisingly dangerous in recent encounters. This system is claimed by the Council, the Vrin commander tried again, less confident this time. Claimed but not settled. We checked. No Council species has visited this system in 200 years. Under galactic salvage law, abandoned territory can be claimed by any species. We claimed it. We settled it. It is ours. The Council will not accept this. The Council is welcome to file a complaint. Until then, you have 30 seconds to withdraw, or we will consider your presence an act of war. 30, 29, 28. The Vring ships hesitated. Then slowly they turned and jumped to FTL. Seojin sat back. Send a message to Fleet Command. The blockade attempt failed. New Sol remained secure. His crew cheered. But Seojin did not celebrate. This was only the beginning. More tests would come? Harder tests on Earth. Ambassador Daewon Park, now Secretary of External Affairs, sat in his office reading reports from across human space. 47 systems claimed in 6 months. 23 new colonies established. 12 mining operations started. And everywhere the same pattern. Council species trying to intimidate humans. Humans refusing to be intimidated. His assistant entered. Sir, you have a visitor. She says it is urgent. Who? She would not give a name. She is not human. Daewon frowned but nodded. Send her in. The alien who entered was small, barely 4 feet tall, with fur like blue velvet and large eyes. She looked nervous. Her translator identified her as a minnow, one of the small species from the Council. Secretary Park, she said quietly. Thank you for seeing me. I should not be here. If the Council knew, I would be punished. Then why are you here? She pulled out a data device. Because my people are tired of being prisoners. We have watched what humanity did. How you refused the Council. How you claimed your own systems? How you stood up to threats? We want to do the same. Day one took the device carefully. What is this? Information. Names of other species that feel the same. Secret communications, plans we are organizing, Secretary. Inspired by humanity. But we need help, advice, maybe more. Day one looked at the data. Dozens of species. Hundreds of names. A network of rebels spreading through the council like cracks in old glass. This is dangerous, he said. Living as we do is dangerous, she replied. At least this danger has purpose. Day one studied her. If we help you, it will make the council even angrier at us. Yes, it could lead to war. Perhaps, why risk it? The little alien met his eyes. Because you showed us something we forgot. That freedom is possible. That saying no is possible. That we do not have to accept what the powerful tell us is good for us. Your species has given ours hope. That is worth any risk. After she left, Day one sat for a long time thinking. Then he called President Bur-Rahan. We have a situation, he said. He explained about the visitor, the data, the network of rebels. Biora listened without interrupting. If we support them, we become revolutionaries, she said finally. The council will see us as a threat to their entire system. They already see us that way. This just makes it official. What do you recommend? Day one looked at the data again. I recommend we help them. Not with weapons or ships, but with advice, communications, safe harbor if they need it. We show them what we showed ourselves. That freedom is worth fighting for. The Aurora was quiet. Then do it. But carefully. We cannot afford open war yet. Give them what they need to help themselves. The call ended. Day one began making plans. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. The same chamber where humanity had refused membership now hosted angry debates. Species accused each other. Arguments raged. The careful peace that had lasted 10,000 years was cracking. Cathara tried to restore order. We must respond to humanity's defiance. They are claiming systems without permission. They are building military forces. They are inspiring others to rebel. What do you suggest? Another council member asked. War? Against a species that clearly will not surrender easily? Economic sanctions, Truthbeam proposed. We control most galactic trade. We blockade human space. They will starve. But Vecthar laughed bitterly. They are not dependent on our trade. They never joined our networks. They are self-sufficient. Sanctions mean nothing to them. Then what? Cathara demanded. Silence. The most powerful beings in the galaxy had no answer. For 10,000 years, they had maintained control through a simple system. Offer protection and stability. Make refusal seem impossible. Keep everyone dependent. But humanity had broken that system simply by saying no. And now others were learning the same word on a distant colony. Young Sik Choi reviewed military readiness reports. Human fleet strength had doubled. New weapon systems were coming online. Defenses were being built around every human world. Humanity was preparing for war, even while hoping for peace, his terminal chimed. A message from intelligence. He opened it and read quickly. His expression hardened. Get me the president, he said. When Bio-Ra appeared on screen, young Sik did not waste time. The Sorans are planning something. Our agents intercepted communications. Imperator Vecthar is gathering a fleet. A large fleet. He intends to teach humanity a lesson. When? Soon, maybe weeks. Maybe days? The Aura closed her eyes briefly. Can we stop them? If we see them coming, yes. Our new ships are better than theirs. But they have numbers. Then make sure we see them coming. And young Sik? If they attack, do not hold back. The galaxy is watching. We need to show them that threatening humanity has consequences. Yes, Madam President. In human space, alerts went out. Fleets moved to defensive positions. Civilians were evacuated from border colonies. Humanity held its breath, waiting. The galaxy watched and wondered. Could humans really stand against the Soren Empire? Could 4 humans who walked away from peace talks defend their freedom against millions of aliens? They would soon find out on the bridge of the Indomitable. Captain Seo Jinhan looked at the stars and thought about what was coming. His crew was ready. His ship was ready. Humanity was ready. Let the Sorens come. Let the galaxy watch. Humanity had chosen freedom over safety. Now they would prove that choice was not insanity, it was courage. And courage, mixed with determination and human stubbornness, was a force the galaxy had not seen in 10,000 years. They were about to remember why it mattered. The council chamber was decorated for celebration. Banners hung from the high ceiling, showing Earth's blue and green colors alongside the symbols of the Galactic Council. Tables were prepared with food from dozens of worlds, including some attempts at human cuisine that looked almost right. Musicians from 3 species practiced a song meant to welcome humanity into the galactic family. 10,000 aliens filled the seats, talking excitedly. For most, this was entertainment. A new species joining the council only happened every few decades. Some had traveled from across the galaxy to witness it. In the high seats, the 12 council members waited. Cathara's compound eyes gleamed with satisfaction. Truthbeam glowed brighter than usual. Vecthar sharpened his claws on the arm of his chair. Already planning how to spend the profits from Earth's mining quotas, the humans are late, one council member observed. Perhaps they are nervous, another replied. It is a big moment for them. They should be grateful, Vecthar growled. We are giving them more than they deserve. Finally, the doors opened. The 4 humans entered, walking down the curved wall to the center platform. They wore the same uniforms as before. Their faces showed nothing. Cathara stood, spreading her 4 arms in a welcoming gesture. Humans of Earth, we are pleased you have returned. The 48 hours have passed. Have you consulted with your people? Day 1 reached the center platform and stood straight. We have, Chancellor. Excellent. Then let us proceed with the ceremony. The signing table is prepared. Once you mark the agreement, humanity officially joins the Council as a protected species. Music will play. Food will be served. History will remember this day. The chamber buzzed with anticipation. Cameras recorded from every angle. This moment would be broadcast across the galaxy. Day -1 took a breath. Chancellor Cathara, High Speaker Truthbeam, Imperator Vecthar, honored council members. On behalf of Earth and humanity, I thank you for your generous offer. Yes, Vecthar said impatiently. Sign the document. However, Day 1 continued, after careful consideration and consultation with our people, humanity must respectfully decline membership in the Galactic Council at this time. Silence complete. Total silence. 10,000 aliens stopped moving. Stopped talking. Stopped breathing. For those that breathed, Cathara's translator clicked in confusion. Decline? You mean delay? You need more time? No, Chancellor. I mean decline. We do not wish to join the Council under the current terms. We choose to remain independent. The chamber erupted. Aliens shouted in 100 languages. The translators struggled to keep up. Words like impossible and insane and suicide filled the air. Truthbeam's glow turned from white to red. When it spoke, its voice was sharp inside everyone's heads. No species refuses the Council. You do not understand what you are saying. We understand perfectly, Day 1 replied calmly. The terms offered would make Earth a protectorate, not a partner. We would surrender control of our technology, our military, our economy, and our future. That is not membership. That is submission. Vecthar slammed his clawed hand on his chair's arm. You ungrateful insects. We offer you protection, knowledge, trade. And you spit on our generosity? Taeyang stepped forward, standing beside Day 1. Generosity would be offering equal partnership? You offered servitude. There's a difference. More shouting. Some council members demanded the humans be arrested. Others called for sanctions. A few looked thoughtful, even concerned. Cathara raised her arms for silence. It took several minutes to restore order. Ambassador Park, you are making a terrible mistake. The galaxy is dangerous. Without the Council's protection, humanity will be vulnerable. Raiders will attack your colonies. Pirates will steal your ships. Aggressive species will see you as easy prey. We will defend ourselves, Day One said. With what? Vekthar laughed, a horrible sound. Your primitive weapons? Your tiny fleet? You have maybe 3,000 ships? The Soren Empire alone has 100,000 ships. What will you do when we come for your resources? Taeyang's expression went cold. Is that a threat, Imperator? Vekthar leaned forward. It is reality, human. You need the Council. Without us, you are nothing. Then we will be nothing, Taeyang replied. But we will be free. Hannah spoke for the first time, her voice clear and steady. The Council has existed for 10,000 years. In that time, how much has galactic technology advanced? How many breakthroughs have there been? How much progress? That is not relevant, Truthbeam said. It is completely relevant. We studied your ships, your computers, your medicine. Most of it is hundreds of years old. Some is thousands of years old. You achieve stability by stopping progress. Every new idea must pass through committees and boards and approval processes. By the time something is approved, it is already outdated. That system keeps peace, Cathara argued. It keeps stagnation, Hannah countered. Humanity has been in space for 300 years. In that time, we went from chemical rockets to fusion drives. We developed AI that thinks faster than biological brains. We created materials stronger than anything in your databases. We did not do this through committees. We did it through competition and necessity and the freedom to fail and try again. Chaos, Truthbeam said dismissively. Progress, Hannah corrected. Joe stepped forward. He had been quiet until now, but his voice carried across the chamber. We spoke with other species here. The small ones, the ones that do not sit in high seats. They told us things. How long they have been protectorates. How little their lives have improved. How their quotas keep increasing while their freedoms keep decreasing. Some have been in the Council for 1,000 years and are no better off than when they joined. Is that the future you offer us? Several small species in the audience seats shifted uncomfortably. The Council members glared at them. Those species are happy, Cathara insisted. They have peace and safety. They have cages, Jiho said. Beautiful cages, but cages nonetheless. Vekthar stood, his full height towering above them. Enough of this. You will accept membership or face the consequences. Taeyang met his gaze without flinching. And there it is. The truth beneath the pretty words. Join us or suffer. That is not an invitation. That is a threat. It is a warning, Vekthar snarled. Then let me give you a warning in return, Taeyang said. His voice dropped, becoming hard as steel. Humanity claims all systems within our current territory as sovereign space. Any attempt to enter without permission will be considered an act of war. Any attempt to enforce Council membership through coercion will be met with force. We did not come to the stars to bow to anyone. If you cannot offer us partnership as equals, then we have nothing more to discuss. The chamber fell silent again. 10,000 aliens stared at the 4 humans. 4 humans against the entire galaxy. It should have been funny. It should have been pathetic. It was not. Day One looked up at the Council members. We came here hoping for friends. We found masters instead. Perhaps in the future, when the Council is ready to treat new species as equals rather than subjects, we can try again. Until then, Earth will pursue its own path among the stars. He turned to his 3 companions. We are leaving. They walked toward the door. Every eye in the chamber followed them. Some aliens called out, begging them to reconsider. Others shouted insults. The Council members sat frozen, unable to believe what was happening. At the threshold, the youngest of the humans paused. Yunji Song had been observing from the entrance, documenting everything. She was a junior diplomat, barely 25, with sharp eyes and a sharper mind. She looked back at the assembled aliens. "My grandfather told me a story once," she said, "about Earth's history, about a time when powerful nations tried to force smaller nations to surrender their freedom. They offered protection in exchange for obedience. Some accepted and disappeared into history, but some refused. They fought. They suffered, but they kept their souls. And eventually they won." She smiled, and there was steel in that smile. "Humanity learned long ago that freedom is worth any price. Maybe in a few generations we can try this again, when you are ready to meet us as equals instead of subjects. Until then, we will see you among the stars." She turned and left. The 4 original delegates followed her. Their footsteps echoed in the silent chamber. They did not look back. Behind them, 10,000 aliens sat in shock. The impossible had happened. A species had refused the council. Not just refused, but walked away with their heads high and their spines straight. In the high seats, Cathara's translator clicked frantically. "This has never happened before. Never. What do we do?" Truthbeam's glow flickered uncertainly. "I do not know." Vecthar roared in fury, but even his rage sounded hollow. The humans were already gone. In their ship, departing from Kepler Prime, Day One allowed himself a small smile. They had done it. They had walked away. The galaxy thought humanity would beg for inclusion. Instead, humanity had taught the galaxy a lesson. Some things could not be bought or threatened or negotiated. Some things had to be earned. And respect was first among them. The ship jumped to FTL, heading home. Behind them, the galaxy began to realize that everything had changed. 20 years had passed since humans walked away from the council. The galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. Admiral Mi Young Park stood on the bridge of the UES Defender, humanity's flagship, looking at the planet below. New Sol had grown from a small colony into a thriving world with 10 million inhabitants. Across human space, 47 systems now held human life. Ships bearing Earth's colors traveled freely, trading, exploring, defending. She was 30 years old when her father walked out of the council chamber. Now she was 50, with gray in her hair and stars on her uniform. The child who held up a sign saying, "Do not sell our future," had become the commander of humanity's entire military force. "Admiral," her communications officer said, "we are receiving the final delegations. The council ships are arriving?" Mi Young nodded. Today the galaxy would try again. A new summit. New terms. But everything was different now. In orbit around New Sol, ships gathered. Not just human ships. Dozens of species, some that had been in the council, some that had left following humanity's example. The Minnow Collective had declared independence 10 years ago. The Tauric Republics followed 8 years ago. 3 other species had withdrawn in the past 5 years. The council was crumbling. And they knew it. A shuttle brought the council delegation to the Defender. Mi Young met them in the conference room. Cathara was there, older now, moving slower. Truthbeam's glow was dimmer. Vecthar was not present. He had tried to teach humanity a lesson and failed catastrophically. Beside Mi Young stood Chancellor Junho Nam, Earth's elected leader. He was young, 43, born after first contact with aliens. He represented the new generation of humanity, those who had only ever known a galaxy where humans stood as equals. "Welcome," Junho said. "Please sit." The council members took their seats. The room was designed for multiple species, with chairs and environments customized for each. Cathara spoke first. "Chancellor Nam, Admiral Park, we come to discuss new terms for humanity's relationship with the council, not membership terms?" Junho asked. "Partnership terms," Truthbeam corrected quickly. "The council has reconsidered its structure. We propose a new framework. Equal voting rights. No protectorate status. Full sovereignty for all members." Mi Young and Junho exchanged glances. This was more than they expected. What changed? Mi Young asked directly. Cathara's translator clicked softly. "You changed everything, Admiral. When humanity refused membership, we thought you would fail. We expected your colonies to be raided, your ships destroyed, your people begging to join us within a decade. But that did not happen, Junho said. No, you thrived. Your technology advanced faster in 20 years than most species advance in 2 centuries. Your economy grew. Your people spread across the stars. And worst of all, from the Council's perspective, you inspired others. Truthbeam's glow shifted color. The Council system was based on fear. Fear of isolation. Fear of aggression. Fear of being alone in a dangerous galaxy. You proved that fear was a lie. Species could be independent and strong. They did not need the Council's protection. They needed their own courage. The Minnow Collective, Cathara continued. The Tauric Republics. The Sarn Federation. All declared independence after watching humanity. All used your model. Small, aggressive expansion. Rapid technological development. Mutual defense pacts between independent powers rather than submission to a central authority. And the old system collapsed, Mi Young said. The old system is collapsing, Truthbeam corrected. It has not finished yet. But it will, unless we change it. That is why we are here. To propose real change. Junho leaned back. What about the Soren Empire? Silence filled the room. Finally, Cathara spoke. 20 years ago, Imperator Vecthar launched an attack on your colony of New Bezen. He brought 200 ships. He intended to destroy your colony, kill your people, and teach the galaxy that defying the Council had consequences. We remember, Mi Young said coldly. We were there. The Battle of New Bezen had entered human legend. 200 Soren warships against a colony defended by 50 human vessels. It should have been a massacre. Instead, it became a demonstration. Mi Young had commanded the defense personally. She was a captain then, leading a squadron of new Earthships equipped with weapons the Sorens had never seen. Railguns that fired projectiles at percentages of light speed. Missiles that could think for themselves? Shields that bent energy around them. The battle lasted 40 minutes. When it ended, 173 Soren ships were destroyed. 27 retreated. Human losses, 5 ships damaged, none destroyed. 300 human casualties. 73,000 Soren casualties. That battle changed everything, Cathara said. The galaxy realized that humanity was not just brave or stubborn. You were dangerous. You had used your 20 years of independence to become a military power rivaling any in the galaxy. And Imperator Vecthar? Junho asked. Dead, killed by his own people when they learned he had started a war he could not win. The Soren Empire fractured. It is now 7 smaller empires fighting among themselves. Without their strength, the Council lost its primary enforcement arm. Truthbeam continued. We can no longer force compliance. We can barely maintain our own structure. Species are leaving. Others refuse to pay quotas. Some openly mock the Council. We are becoming irrelevant. So you want humanity to save you? Mi Young said. We want humanity to join a reformed council, Cathara corrected. Not as subjects, as equals. As leaders, even. Your model works. Your system of independent powers cooperating through mutual interest rather than imposed authority. We want to adopt that model. Junho looked at Mi Young. She looked back. They had discussed this possibility many times over the past year as the Council's messages became more desperate. What do you offer specifically? Junho asked. Truthbeam displayed documents. Full sovereignty for all member species. No quotas, no technology restrictions. No military limitations. Each species maintains complete control over their own space. The Council becomes a forum for cooperation rather than a government. Mutual defense pacts. Fair trade agreements. Scientific cooperation. But no species subordinate to another. What about voting? Mi Young asked. 1 species, 1 vote. Regardless of size or age. Humanity's vote equals the Vryn vote equals the Luminar vote. Decisions require majority approval. No single species has veto power. It was everything humans had wanted 20 years ago. Everything they had been denied. Everything they had fought for. Why should we trust you? Junho asked bluntly. Cathara met his eyes. You should not. Trust must be earned. But we are offering you the chance to shape the galaxy's future. Without humanity, the Council dies. With humanity, it might become something better. Something actually worth belonging to. Junho stood and walked to the window. Outside, human ships flew in formation with vessels from the Mino Collective and the Tauric Republics. Independent powers, cooperating by choice? We need to consult with our people, he said. And with our allies. This is too big a decision to make alone. Of course, Truthbeam agreed. Take whatever time you need. The Council delegation left. Junho and Mi-young sat in silence for a moment. What do you think? Junho asked. I think they are desperate, Mi-young replied. But I also think they are sincere. The old Council is dying. This might be our chance to build something better. Or it might be a trap. Perhaps. But we are strong enough now that traps do not frighten us. 3 weeks later, the vote came. Not just from Earth, but from all human colonies, all 47 systems. Democracy took time, but humans insisted on it. Everyone had a voice. Everyone had a vote. The result. 72% in favor of joining the reformed council. 23% against. 5% undecided. Humanity would join. But on their terms, the new council convened 1 year later. Not on Kepler Prime, but on New Sol. The symbolism was deliberate. The new galaxy would be built on humanity's foundation. Species came from across the stars. Some had been in the old council. Some were new. All came as equals. Jun-ho gave the opening address. 20 years ago, my predecessor walked away from this council because it offered subjugation instead of partnership. Today we return because we have been offered real equality. This is not humanity's victory. This is everyone's victory. A galaxy of free peoples, cooperating by choice, respecting each other's sovereignty, building a better future together. The chamber erupted in applause. Not the polite applause of ceremony, but genuine celebration. In the audience, retired Ambassador Daewon Park watched with his granddaughter beside him. She was 15, born after the walkout, raised in a galaxy where humans were respected. Grandfather, she asked, was it worth it? All the danger? All the fighting? Could you not have just accepted the original offer and avoided all that trouble? Daewon smiled and put his arm around her shoulders. Let me tell you something, child. We have been the underdog before, we humans. In our own history, we were conquered, oppressed, divided. We learned hard lessons. We learned that freedom is not given. It is taken. We learned that respect is not granted. It is earned. And we learned that a comfortable cage is still a cage. He pointed to the chamber below, where species great and small sat as equals. 20 years ago, we walked away from comfort and safety. We chose danger and uncertainty.